Hey there, and welcome back to Rosemary Writes. I'm Rosemary, and I have decided that every other week I will be switching topics. So, one week I will be discussing where I am with my novel, what's going on with it, and in the next week I will be talking about any topic related to storytelling. So, today we're actually going to be talking about one of my favorite aspects of storytelling, which is the plot twist. And if you love the thrill of an unexpected turn in a story, then you're in for a treat. Just to warn you, there will be spoilers for the following things: Now You See Me, Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, and a game called Detroit Becoming Human. So, first, I guess we could talk about what a plot twist is. And a plot twist essentially elevates a story, making it unforgettable. They challenge our expectations and force us to see characters and even events in a different light. Today, I'm going to share 3 examples of some well known plot twists and discuss my favorite plot twist of all time, which is from that game, Detroit Becoming Human. And we're also going to talk about what makes a plot twist fail. So let's start with the not so good example. Now You See Me. Now You See Me is a fun, flashy movie about a group of magicians pulling off heists. And throughout the film, there's a lot of twists and turns. But the final twist, the big plot twist, that the FBI agent Dylan Rhodes is actually the mastermind behind it all. And it feels unearned, and out of nowhere. The problem with this is that the twist is that it doesn't add any depth to the story or the characters. Instead, it kind of feels like a cheap, oh goodness, I can speak, I promise. It seems like a cheap trick meant to shock the audience without any proper setup. It lacks emotional or narrative. I swear, I promise I can talk right. It lacks emotional or narrative payoff that a good twist should provide. This is an example of a creator caring more about subverting expectations than the story itself. This is about outsmarting your audience and making it a gasp instead of actually making sense. It's unfortunately something that people do, and it sucks because these type of plot twists are the kind of thing that make you wish you hadn't watched anything at all. Now, we're going to talk about a good plot twist. This is from Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. And for most of the book, we believe that Sirius Black is some deranged, dangerous criminal out to kill Harry. And the twist comes when we learn that Sirius is actually Harry's godfather, and one of the people who love Harry the most and is his biggest supporter. This twist reshapes our understanding of the story and the characters. It adds depth not only to Sirius's character and turns him from, oh, just another Death Eater who's trying to kill him, to, oh, this character was in prison for 12 years, unrightfully. And it also collectively made the adults give a side eye to the grown man that chilled with underage boys in the shape of a rat. It brought a whole new view to that particular relationship with Ron and his pet Scabbers. So now we're actually going to talk about 2 separate twists in the Percy Jackson and the Olympians, The Lightning Thief, which is the first of the Percy Jackson series. One plot twist originally sets us up to think Hades in the books is the main bad guy. And this plays into the whole Hades is the Satan equivalent that seems to have popped up even though it has no basis in the original mythos. But because we already have that, oh, he's a king of the underworld, he has to be related to the Christian Satan, it makes it easier to trick us and tell us that, of course, Hades is the bad guy. He has to be the bad guy. But we find out that it's actually Ares, and subsequently Kronos, that was the bad guy of the story. They wanted war, they wanted more. And Hades was just actually another victim of the entire plot. This particular plot twist has us reevaluating our own biases that we brought into the book, instead of just focusing on what is happening within the book in its own mythos. Another twist, which does have basis sprinkled in throughout, is that Lucas, who is shown as a trustworthy friend to Percy, who is a leader amongst the campers and is an all-around good guy, essentially, that he is actually the one that stole Zeus's lightning Bolt and is working for Kronos. And throughout the story, we do see hints that he is incredibly dissatisfied with what's going on and sort of bitter about the situation, even though he tries to present himself as someone who's not. This betrayal, it not only shocks the readers, but it also shocks the characters themselves. And it sets the stage for an overreaching conflict in the series. And it shows the devastating impact of betrayal and the complexity of the characters' motives. And because this is actually a first-person story, we see it most deeply in Percy, which is the point of the story. We're supposed to see things from Percy's perspective. We're supposed to feel what Percy feels. Now, for one of the most famous and memed upon movies, The Sixth Sense. And we have to talk about the jaw-dropping twist that throughout the movie, we follow Dr. Malcolm Crowe, a child psychologist, as he tries to help a young boy who claims to see dead people. The twist actually comes at the end when we realize that Dr. Crowe himself is dead. This revelation not only redefines the entire narrative, but it also makes us question everything that we've seen up to the point. It is a masterclass on how to execute a plot twist that is both shocking and emotionally resonant. To this day, when it comes to plot twists, outside of the whole, Luke, I am your father, this is one of the most used examples of an absolutely wonderful plot twist. And now we're going to talk about my favorite plot twist of all time, which comes from a game called Detroit Becoming Human. If you haven't played the game, I'll give you a rough and quick summary. In this universe of Detroit, androids are commonplace. They're inserted into everyday lives, everything from manual labor to taking caretakers to more adult things. I'm trying to keep this channel as age-friendly as I can, so I'll leave that vague. Use your imagination. But the game follows 3 different androids and their journeys. I'll be talking about one storyline in particular where we follow the story of Kara, an android who escapes her abusive owner to protect his little girl named Alice. Throughout their entire journey, we see them struggle, and we see a family beginning to be born, and how much this android, Kara, loves this little girl, how far she's willing to go to keep her safe. And towards the end of their joint plot line, there's a moment where Kara and Alice are separated. She thinks she thinks that she sees Alice and runs to her, only to realize that this child wasn't her Alice. The twist comes when it's revealed to us and Kara that Alice is actually an android. And this twist isn't about shocking the audience with the fact that Alice isn't human. It's about our reactions to it. This plot twist comes more about sticking with the theme of the game itself. Many players and viewers initially feel that the storyline with Alice and Kara is somehow less impactful because they're both androids. But that's the whole point of the game. Detroit Becoming Human challenge us to see the androids as being capable of sentient thought and emotions, of being maybe not human, but people. When we learn that Alice is an android, it makes us question our own biases. Like, why do we suddenly feel less empathy for everything that they've gone through, for everything that they've done to stay together? Is their bond any less real because they aren't human? The twist isn't about outsmarting the audience. It's about making us question ourselves and our perceptions of identity and emotion. It's honestly a powerful commentary of what it means to be a person and how we define love and connections. Like, this whole episode actually came to mind because I was watching an LP, Let's Play of this game. And when the twist was shown, the player was originally upset with how they ruined their entire plot because it seemed like such a letdown. But I saw in real time as they worked through the twist and changed their minds, calling themselves out for being a jerk. Well, they used a harsher word, but again, age appropriate. And it just makes this particular plot twist feel that much more impactful because it isn't about the story. It's about us. It's about tying into the theme of everything. So, in conclusion, plot twists, when done right, can elevate a story to new heights. They make us think and feel and question our assumptions, whether it's the shocking revelation in The Sixth Sense, the emotional depth added in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, the impactful betrayal in Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief, or just the thought-provoking twist in Detroit Becoming Human. These moments, they're the ones that stay with us long after the story ends. They're the ones that make us think, I should rewatch it and see if I could pick out where it started, or I want to reread the book, see where all the foreshadowing is. It makes us more invested in the story than less. And a good plot point should always enhance the story, not just aim to surprise or outsmart its audience. So, in this episode, I hope you enjoyed the dive into the art of the plot twist. If you have a favorite plot twist or story that left you questioning everything, I would like to hear about it. But this is where the plot twist of it ends. I'm just going to go on a little rant about myself here at the end, just because I feel like it's a nice place to sort of share more of me. Now, I am a first-generation Hispanic American, or American Hispanic, however you say it. And growing up in my house, we spoke English and Spanish interchangeably. Like, my mother could speak English as well as Spanish, but my father could only speak Spanish. And when I was younger, I didn't really understand that they were two separate languages. It was just words. And unfortunately, this left me with an issue where I had trouble pronouncing certain words. And I remember this so clearly. I was in the second grade and we had story time where at the end of a class or at the end of the week, one name would be chosen and that person would bring in a chapter storybook for the next week. And during story time, they would sit up front and read the story they chose. And I remember picking a book about Arthur where he and DJ, I believe her name was, were stuck inside of a library. Now, the reason I said that slowly is because I cannot say that word without slowing it down, or it sounds like library. And I didn't know that I didn't say it right. And I remember the kids laughing at me so much every time I mispronounced the word library. And even throughout this script, as I was trying to read it out and record it, I was getting flashbacks to it because I kept messing up and stumbling over my words. And it is a lot harder than I thought to put this out there. I am trying really hard to get over that. I didn't know how much that affected me until I started doing this. And I've spent like an hour trying to record this, 15-minute episode, and that's stretching it, I think. So please, if you stuck around to listen to this, this is just my way of saying I will get better. I just have to practice. So stick with me, and I hope that I will be getting better as time goes on. And that is all for today. If you stuck around, thank you. Seriously, thank you. And until next time, this is Rosemary signing off.